Okay, I'm recording. Let's go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are generating random numbers. Okay, generating random numbers. It's a pretty common thing. And no, I can't project to the board because I'm on my hotspot. Generating a random set of numbers. Okay, and somehow displaying it to the screen. Generating a random set of numbers. Simon, if you're going to do other things, I'm happy for you to stay here, but just don't interrupt anyone. Okay, generating a random set of numbers. How many numbers do we want to generate? 13. Okay, that's cool. What are those numbers between? 0 and? You're going to generate 13 random numbers between 0 and 13. Hear me out on this. Only one thing won't be included.
0 and 1,000.
1,000. Between 1 and 1,000. Okay, cool. It's between those. Here's my number of random numbers, and they're random. Okay. Here's the first thing. Whenever you get something like this, that's like generate a random series. If you're generating more than one thing, what's the first thing? When you get a question that's asking you to generate something, if it's more than one thing you're generating, one name, one number, what data structure you immediately know you're going to be using? You're immediately going to be using an array. So as soon as I say this question, bang, I need to consider an array. Okay, I need to have an array in the back of my head. The next thing I'm going to say to you is I explained it to year 11 like this, and I think this is working. When we're trying to work out control structures and how the logic might work, I explained it to them like this. Rather than trying to panic and work out the logic and go a bit all over the place, think, what is the instruction that I need to make a choice between? Or what is in the instruction that I need to repeat? I'm generating a random set of numbers. Forget the initializing, setting flag variables and all that. Just think, what's the actual instruction that I need to repeat? If I'm generating 13 random numbers, I'm obviously going to have to repeat an instruction, yeah? Because I'm doing something, you've told me 13 times. I'm doing it 13 times. What instruction am I doing 13 times? Generating what? No, I'm not generating 13 numbers 13 times because that's way too many numbers. I'm generating one number. So try thinking it like this. I said that to year 11 today and they really were like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Start with, when you're looking at these questions, what's the instruction I actually want to repeat? Or what's the instruction that I want to make a choice if I execute or not? The instruction I want to make a repeat on is generating one random number. Yeah? And how many times do I want to do that? Do I want to do it 12 times? Do I want to do it 14 times? Do I want to do it while a condition is true or false? How many times do I want to do it? 13 times. Specific amount. From the top of your head, what control structure then am I looking at? What repeat? Pardon? Thank you. I'm going to take, I really hope it wasn't the board that was broken, but I think I'm on my year 11 classroom. I did a diagram of the choice repeat and all the control structures underneath. I'm going to put that on Classroom again. You need to know it, guys. You need to know it. You should be able to say back to me, set number of times counted loop. Okay. So counted loop, what's my word for counted loop? So, for next. For how many times? Now, on a for loop, I don't get to write the luxury of for 13 times. Okay, you always have to have a counter to control a for loop. There always has to be a counter or something to increment. Our easiest counter, most of the time, is going to be I. Okay, it's our easiest counter that we're going to use. For I equals 0 to 13. Yeah, generate one random number. Yeah.
I said generate random number.
Next, I will come back to that in a second, Cooper. We're just looking at the logic. Yeah. We're actually going to jump into core specs pretty soon on because the logic's a bit complicated. Do you see how I got there though, guys? Did it help and make it easier by going, what's the instruction that I actually want to repeat? Stick that within the control structure. If you write that, it's not 100% perfect, but if you write that in a HSC paper, you're better than 1 mark. You're like halfway there. Okay, it's not indented, it's not great, but basically I'm generating one random number. Okay, where am I going to have to save all these random numbers? Into an array. So somewhere in here, I'm also going to need, or somewhere, if I lay it out differently, somewhere in the rest of the logic, I'm going to need an array to save the random number in. Yeah, I'm going to need an array to save the random number in. Agreed? Okay. Hear me out on this. That works. Best practice, super best practice, is to also probably not double up on my numbers. Yeah. 3, 3, 5, 8, 7. Yeah. 3, 3, 5, 8, 7. Probably not the best if I was 3, 3, 5, 8, 7, 1, 2, 7, 12, 14, 9, 8, 2. I think I've doubled up on a couple of numbers there. Probably not the best. Not really getting me a random set of numbers. So somewhere in my logic, I'm probably also going to want to not exactly double up on numbers. I'm probably also going to want to check and balance it somewhere in that logic that I haven't already used that random number between 1 and 1,000. Okay. How could I do that? Talk to the person, people around you. 30 seconds. How could I make sure that I don't use the same number twice? Talk, go, 30 seconds. I'm going to pause this. Okay, thoughts about how I could check and see if I have already used a number. Jay and Rohan. Jay, your phone's out, so you're up. It's okay. How could I check myself? Your laptops don't need to be open. How could I check myself before I wreck myself to make sure I don't get the same number twice?
I was thinking also have a second array, repeating it 13 times until you take those numbers out every time.
Yeah, what would that second array have in it? Well done, by the way. What would that second array have in it?
Stuff in the previous array.
Yeah, you could put a number for a number. Yeah, what happens if I wanted to generate 10,000 random numbers? Yeah, works. So first off, Rohan, kudos. Good job thinking in like an array sphere. It's going to work, right? It's going to work. A little bit of and when we get to some of the searches, searching and sorting and going through those, you'll start to learn how you can do stuff efficiently with arrays, particularly searching and sorting in them. There's one way that'll always work, but it just doesn't work as efficiently. Okay, what you'd actually do, instead of having an array with just the numbers and like once I've generated a random number, put it in that array. Is that what you were saying? Then having to then go check every time I generate a random number that it's not element 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Yeah, it's cool. But see, when I say it aloud, it sounds a bit more tedious. Second array was right. Talk us through how the second array would work. One of you guys over here.
If I was going to make one, the dummy array, it would go to the index of the original one. It would then go through. What's
the dummy array?
Well, I'll just call it ring.
No, I'm asking for everyone. What's a dummy array?
Dummy array is just like it's there for comparison sort of thing.
Like
not really.
Yeah.
To store data.
Okay. So what's in the array? How many indexes?
The same amount of indexes I would assume, like 13.
No,
Josh, you're on the right track. Josh, do you want to talk about the array, the dummy array that Cooper, do you want to pick up?
Dummy array.
Yep.
1,000 indexes.
Why do you have 1,000 indexes?
Because you're looking for 1,000 numbers.
Okay, and what are those 1,000 indexes set to initially?
0.
Why?
0, you haven't got it.
You haven't got it yet. And then what do?
You get a number, you call that number's index.
So I generate a random number, say I generate 7. Yep. Talk to me about what had happened.
7 index, that array.
On the dummy array. Yep. And do what?
0, 1.
Okay, see if it's 0 or 7. Actually, you just put 7 in there. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anything other than 0. Could put 1, doesn't really matter with the logic. I put 7 in there. Okay, so let's just hear that from Josh. So at the start, I make an array of 1,000 indexes. Why? Because I have 1,000 random numbers to choose from. I generate 7 on this first loop of 13. On this first loop, I get 7. I don't want to use 7 again. So once I generate it, I say, yeah, cool, thanks. Let's go put 7 in this dummy array of like 1,000 zeros. Let's replace index 7 in that array with 7. Then on the next loop around, I do 3 and I put 3. I have my random number 3, and then in the dummy array, I put 3. So now that array of 1,000 zeros is now 998 zeros and a 3 and a 7. If I go around on the next loop and I generate 7 again, it'll go there. There'll be a 7 there. And then I need to check and balance. I need to make sure that somewhere also in there, I can only generate 7 if in the dummy array, the index is 0. Kind of following? Yeah. So basically for all the options I need to have them all blank. And that's how I check myself before I wreck myself. Seriously, I could have it without that. It just wouldn't be as efficient. Do me a favor. Open your course specs. Let's have a look at generating a random number. I'm going to open it here. Let's see what it looks like comparatively. Course, I don't know. A page. It is page 64. Not that you can see on Vivi because I'm on my hotspot.
The original array is right to the sum the number that is out.
Yes.
Each time it writes a new number.
Yes. Yes. That's what Rohan also suggested. Why not just have an array of 13 things? Like, why not just once you generate the random number, put it in the random array? It works. I was not in disagreement that it didn't work. It's just not as efficient. Because then it works for 13. Sweet, easy. What happens if I had 10,000? What happens if I had 20,000? Because I have 20,000 random ticket numbers that I need to generate from a random set of numbers. Yeah. Bit slow, not so efficient. Yeah, it can get to index 19,708 because it can just go there very quickly, as opposed to checking 13,000, nearly 13,000 things to just check I haven't got that number yet. Feel me? Both work, and I agree with Rohan, both worked. One's just more efficient than the other. Okay, so generating a random set of numbers. I can do one of two things. Would you like me to go through line by line and help you annotate? Or would you like me to give you some, Cooper, you can close your laptop. Oh, do not have your course specs, buddy. Okay. I can get you to you can annotate line by line if you think you know what you're doing, or I can go through what I would annotate against each line. Do you want me to go through it? Yep. Okay, cool. So have a read. Generating a random set of unique numbers we need to use because it's unique. There you go. That's what this one does. It's also best practice to do this. Unique numbers, use an array of flags to indicate if the number has already been used. I want to see, oh, look, they used your way. They set the flag to 1. So you know how you said just replace it with a 1? I was replacing it with a number. Either. We'll go with Josh's way, as that's the way of the course specs. To indicate if the number has already been selected. If the number has been chosen, indicated by the flag, the number being 1, another random number. We'll do another random number until you haven't been selected. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Lot of information. What that's saying is we use that dummy array that we were speaking about to start with. We get 1,000 zeros. And as soon as I use one of the indexes, I replace it with a 1. So next time, if I go to use 7 again, it says 1, not 0. So it knows not to use it. Okay, line. The following generic statement is used to generate a random number between 2 values. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, this logic is only generating 6 numbers, not 13. And these numbers are between 1 and 99. So on these first 3 lines, and I'm really sorry I can't put it up on Vivi, but good for future you watching this on Zoom, watching this on YouTube, because it's now on YouTube. Those first 3 lines, for I equals 1 to 99, let flag I equals 0 next I. Flag I is my dummy array. This is my dummy array. You can write that even if you want. Flag is my dummy array. Yeah? For 1 to 99, Ben, You writing this? You typing it? Great. You can put a comment on a PDF. I don't care how you do it. For 1 to 99, it's essentially putting 99. How many indexes is it making? 99 indexes and putting in them what? 0. So let array name brackets I equals 0 for I equals 1 to 99. Next I go through once. I is 1. Let flag 1 equals 0. Next I is now equal to 2. Let flag 2 equals 0. Next I. It's going to go to flag 3. Let flag 3 equal 0. So in this array called flag, I have 0, 0, 0 after 3 repeats. It will then go on to what index? After 3. After index 3, it has 99 to do. After it does index 3, which index is it going to do? 4. And then it's going to do which index? 5, and then 6, and then 7. Rohan, where's it going to stop? Do not say 10. Amy, where's it going to, sorry, Amy said it before, so I know she knows. It's going to stop at 99. Why is it going to stop at 99? It's because that's the numbers that I want to generate between 1 and 99, 100%. I only want to generate 99 zeros because what's the bounds of the numbers I want to create? It's between 1 and 99. Cool, easy. Then, so that's the first for loop. That's making the dummy array. If you want to put around it, making the dummy array, go for gold. Okay. For I equals 1 to 6 then. This 4 and then the giant next, that's all of this stuff that we've been talking about. That's all of this stuff that we've been talking about. Didn't put next I. Oops. This is all, if you want to put your eyes up onto the board, this is all the stuff that we've just been talking about. This is the actual generation of the random numbers. We had 13, this has 6. So it says for I equals 1 to 6. For I equals 0 to, oh yeah, I did that wrong. Sorry. For I equals 1 to 13. We had it right, yeah? We had next I, we had actually generating the random number and then some kind of check in the array. So let's look at what the logic looks. For 1 to 6, let R equal random 98 plus 1 until flag R equals 0. I'll give you a minute. It has a clue underneath in the comment. Have a talk to the people around you. What do you reckon is going on there? Go, 30 seconds. Talk to the people next to you. What is going on there? Okay, right. Let's have a look at this. Okay, this is the line where we're all getting a bit confused, right? Let R equals random brackets 98 plus 1. So the word random is sitting in there. The word random is sitting in there and we're a bit lost. Unfortunately, some of these stuff you have to commit to memory. The following pseudocode on the pseudocode at the top says the following generic statement is used to generate a random number between two values, high value and a low value. It tells you this is the line. This is the logic and this is how it works. You just have to roll with it. Let R equal random. So I'm actually having a variable. It's R. R is a variable. How many values are saved to R? 1 at any one time. There's a lot of crap about how that value gets worked out. There's an array in the mix as to how that number gets worked out, but R is 1 value. That's all I'm generating there. I'm just generating one random number. One random number. That's all that line is doing. How do I know that? Because there might be some stuff about an array. I see some brackets in that line, but at the start it says R equals. A variable can only contain how many pieces of information at any one time? 1. Okay, it tells you to generate, you got it now, Owen? Yeah. Good. To generate it, I just write random use this random function that it says I'm allowed to write. In the HSC, you can do this as well. Put the high value minus the low value plus the low value. I don't know why. They've decided that's how you do it. Pretty much, they said, this is the logic for how to get it done. YOLO. A lot of the time, you know how when you're coding in a language, and it's like, this is how you write the function. Why? I don't know. You just do because some bloke decided. This is another of those examples. So it also has to do with the way it gets generated properly if you want to understand the logic. Repeat, let R equal random. Why is there a 98 then? Using that formula that you get given, why does it say 98, not 99? Yeah, because it says the high value minus the low value. Yeah, so that's why it says 98. If you want to circle that bit that says 98 and say, and point it up the top and say, that's the formula, you can do that. Christian, you're not annotating this. Do it at home. And you're going to watch me back for 30 minutes. Kudos. If you had that much, I can't even watch a whole episode for 30 minutes. Seriously. Okay. So I generate a random number until, and this is the tricky bit. This is the tricky bit. This is the bit like to get your head around. And it says until flag R equals 0. Who thinks they're confident to explain what that is and where it fits in, Owen?
Is the random.
What's
number.
flag again?
Flag is just like the index of the.
No, flag is the dummy array. What's currently on the first round of this loop? What's currently in my array?
Bunch of zeros.
Bunch of zeros. In this example, there's 99. In my example, there would have been 1,000 zeros. I keep generating a random number. Give me a random number between 1 and 99.
68.
Good
Wow.
job for not incrementing by 1. 68. 68 is my random number. I keep generating until that index is 0. First round, is it going to definitely be 0?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. So I don't like, that's cool. Kudos. Kudos for me. It's 0. So what do I do with that repeat until? Do I need to repeat it again? No, I jump out of it. I jump out. The first round, I'm always going to jump out because I've never used a number before in my dummy array. I'm going to jump out. So then it says, let flag R equal 1. So if I do that again, let flag 68 equal 1. Well, why would I have to do that? Why do I have to change it from 0 to 1 once I've jumped out? So I've committed to 68 so that I know I won't use 68 again. Yeah, say in a total stroke of luck. And then, so hold on, what's the next line? It says next I. I've done I1, I have 6 more to go. I go up to the top. Repeat, let R random 98 plus 1. Say I get 68 again until flag R equals 0. If I get 68 again, it's not going to be 0, is it? It's going to be 1. So what's that repeat until going to do? Loop back again and keep on going until I get one that I haven't used. Do you see how that works now? Sweet. No, there won't be. Do you see how that works? Are you capable and confident on that? Cool. Good job, team. I'm going to stop this recording.